What is going on? Man, it's good to be back. All right, so just FYI for everybody just tuning in, man, I just got done with a jam session on Spotify, so I am all types of ramped up right now. So I apologize for if my energy is too much for y'all. But regardless, happy freaking Thursday, y'all. You guys are probably tuning in here. Obviously, you guys heard about the event that we organized this week, talking about how to turn your meal prepping, or how do you prep healthy meals in 5 minutes or less. Now, a lot of people don't think that's possible, but speaking out of experiences, me and my wife have been doing it for the past 4 years since our daughter was born. So yes, it is possible to prep meals in just 5 minutes. I'm going to list out all the hacks, tips, tricks, all that stuff in just a few minutes. We're going to let people chime on in because everybody's leaving work. They're getting in their cars. They're tuning in, trying to find their Wi-Fi networks, whatever it is. So we're going to give it a couple minutes. But if you guys have questions about nutrition, fitness, meal prepping, portion sizes, whatever it is that you're personally struggling with, now's the time to ask for it, because right after I get done with my spiel showing you all the tips and tricks on how to meal prep in 5 minutes, I'm going to do a live nutrition Q&A. A lot of you guys have been already submitted your questions ahead of time, so I'm prepared. We're going to try to keep this as fast and as efficient as humanly possible, because I'm on a time constraint. I got to go at top of the hour, so there will be no funny business, but you guys know how I roll. Sometimes I go off script and I can get a little wild. So I'm not making any promises that this won't go into overtime, but I appreciate your patience, and feel free to ask whatever questions. You guys know I keep it 100% real and transparent with y'all. I don't believe in any of that cookie cutter BS around here. I'm not trying to sell you nothing. I'm not trying to sell my books, my supplements, none of that garbage to y'all. So if you guys have any questions related to your diets, now's the time to ask them, or forever hold your peace. So without further ado, all right, it is 5:32. Let's give it one more minute, and I'll let you guys answer your questions that you guys got. So I'm ready to go towards the end of this thing. But by the way, tell me what you guys were, what your wins were for this week. This is the midweek check-in. I even do this with my own clients. You guys see Krista do this within the group. I want to see some wins. Every Wednesday, or definitely by Thursday, just as a helpful tip to you guys to make sure that you guys are staying on point with, your progress and hitting all your goals for the week. Make sure you have just 5 minutes of reflection, preferably on Wednesday, or you could do it today. And just ask yourself the hard questions, and don't be afraid to be honest with yourself and tell yourself, hey, I'm falling short in this category, and simply come up with just helpful tips and strategies on how you can overcome that. Because one of the pitfalls I see a lot of parents do, just because the craziness of life, we get distracted with the kids, football practice, soccer practice, taking kids to and from places, trying to split time between work and spouse and cleaning the house and all this fun jazz. Sometimes we just get distracted, and the goals that we set out for ourselves on Sunday and Monday, by the time Wednesday and Thursday comes, we're burnt out, and it's not on the front of our brains anymore. So be sure, I always like to put it in my physical calendar. That way I do not forget it, because out of sight, out of mind. So if I see it in my calendar saying, hey, at 8 a.m., first thing in the morning, reflection period for 10 minutes, and I look back at my goals and I'm seeing, like, have I checked that box yet? If I haven't, why not? And I'm brutally honest with myself, and I take that to my accountability partners. I take that to my business coach and my peers in the industry, and they hold me accountable. You need to get some accountability partners in your life if you don't have them already. But without further ado, I think I've ramped on long enough. It's almost 5:35, so we're going to get this thing started. So the whole idea between 5-minute meal prep, let me start in the beginning. When Adrian, my wife, and I had Alana, we came from a background where I was a fitness competitor. I was a pro athlete. Adrian was just a fitness fanatic at the time. But our health has always been very important to us. So we came from a background of constantly meal prepping every single week. And we would do the traditional meal prepping of every Sunday. We would do the 4-hour Sunday meal prep sessions after church and all that stuff. So we would have all our meals lined up Monday through Thursday. Friday would be our cheat day, whatever. And we would have that perfect plan. Well, when you throw a kid into the things, and especially if you throw in multiple kids into the picture and other priorities, opening up businesses, promotion at work, being a manager, whatever it may be for you specifically, let's face facts. The reality is, as we age, as the priorities pile on, as we become parents, we get married, whatever, the whole thing about prioritizing meal prep is it doesn't become a priority. When I talk with people, I try to keep it really 100. And I'm always like, all right, I'm never going to tell you anything that I wouldn't recommend myself. And the fact of the matter is, meal prepping versus taking care of your spouse, making sure you're performing well at your job, bringing in your income, cleaning the house, making sure the kids are safe, making sure the car's running, making sure the bills are paid on time. When you stack up all these priorities that we adults have, and as they compound over time with the more promotions that we get or the more responsibility or kids that we get, meal prepping is just not a freaking priority. So I tell people, like, you don't have to meal prep or have that perfect regimen that a lot of people think they do to lose weight. Like, one of the things you see on every freaking New Year, the two biggest things that people do is they purchase a gym membership and they start looking up healthy recipes, and they're like, I'm gonna get into meal prepping. And then that lasts for like, what, a week or two? Like, how long did it last for you? Like, be honest, tell me in the comments. Like, what was your longest streak when it came to meal prepping? Like, it probably wasn't that long unless you were like me and you were a fitness health fanatic, but I did this as a job, so it was my job to do it. You know, and even though it still is, like, I'm a dad now. I own two successful growing businesses. I don't have time to be sitting in the kitchen for 4 to 6 hours every Sunday. So when we had Alana, we knew that it was not a priority. And we, truth be told, we gained a whole bunch of weight. Obviously, Adrian with Alana, and she was recovering through that. But me, I gained a dad bod. I ended up gaining, like, I think it was like 30 pounds during Adrian's pregnancy. Just because, you know, I was trying to be the supportive husband. I wasn't in the gym as much. I wanted to take care of my wife, do my husbandly duties, things like that. So just to be honest with y'all, my health wasn't a priority. I just didn't care. So when we had Alana and, you know, the lack of sleep and everything like that, we knew that there had to be another way. You cannot possibly... I sat there with myself on the couch in my living room, and I was like, you cannot tell me that the only people that can be fit and skinny are people that are not parents. Like, we know how important nutrition is to our health and wellness. It is the king. Like, you cannot outwork a bad diet. We've all heard that famous quote, and it's 100% true. Like, if your diet is not on point, but you're hitting the gym, you know, every single day, I'm sorry, you're not going to be fit. You're not going to get rid of that mom pooch. You're not going to get rid of your dad bod. Your diet has to be in line with your goals. Point, period, the end. So if you don't take away nothing else, screw the working out, screw the, you know, whatever, the meal prep, whatever, but at least you have to pick more high quality foods if your goal really is health, wellness, longevity, aesthetics, things like that, and just feeling more energized, and you improve your quality of living, basically. So I don't think anybody would debate me on that one. But going back to the 5-minute meal prep, I really had to, and this is going to be a circling theme throughout this broadcast, is you guys are going to hear me say a lot, you have to weigh your pros and cons. You have to pick and choose your battles wisely, because here's the thing. When it comes to 5-minute meal prepping, I will always say go with high quality, high nutrient, whole food, fresh options. That's items outside the grocery aisles. That's the fresh produce, fruits, veggies, meats, seafood, turkey, you know, beef, like whatever it is. You have to consume the majority of your diet has to come from those three things: fruits, vegetables, healthy meats. And I'm not going to get into that whole meat debate. That's been debunked multiple times. Eat meat, boo-boo, if you like eating meat. It's not going to do no harm to you. Get the F out of here, vegans. So, and I love you vegans. No offense. You know, but I'm just saying. You cannot... there's nothing wrong with meat. Sorry. But, stay focused. Squirrel. When it comes to taking those items and bringing them into your lifestyle, because you know they're going to maximize your results the best. And here's tip for all my note takers. Here's your first tip. You have to pick the foods that you can prep very, very, very quickly. Here's the thing. If I didn't say it earlier in this broadcast, I don't know. Like I said, I'm jacked up off of my Spotify playlist and a whole bunch of caffeine. So my mind is not right now. But When you focus on your meals, I have not meal prepped in 4 years since my daughter was born. So I knew whatever foods that we bought at the store, they had to be hot and ready meals. They had to be the frozen options. Now, here's the thing. Here we go. Pick and choose your battles wisely. Because I'm going to tell you, if you want to minimize your meal prep time, you're going to have to pick more efficient food items, such as your frozen vegetables, frozen fruits, so you can use those for smoothies and healthy breakfast smoothies with protein powder, protein bars, beef jerky, Greek yogurts, eggs, like whatever it is. Now, some of those items, well, technically all foods are processed, just FYI, just to, blow everybody's mind really quickly. All foods are technically processed. There's no non-processed foods on planet Earth. There is none. Because all foods, unless you're growing it in a garden in your backyard, boo-boo, the food that you're consuming, if you buy it from a store, it's processed. Even if the label says it's not processed. Sorry to break your hearts. So, we know if it comes out of a box, a can, or a bag, it's going to be a lot more processed than the fresh produce. Is everybody with me so far? Say yes in the comments. Or am I losing y'all because of my energy? I don't know. Keep me in check. But I'm going to keep rolling with this thing because there's a time delay with the comments. So, when you pick more efficient foods, like say you're tight on time, so you pick one of my favorite things that I tell people to buy is the Kodiak protein waffles or pancakes. It is jam-packed with a lot of vitamins and a lot of protein and a respectable amount of carbs to start your day. It shouldn't be the only thing that you eat. You know who I'm talking to. There's some people that only munch on Kodiak waffles. Boo-boo, that's not enough. But we know those waffles have been heavily processed, so the processed ingredients in those food items are going to impact you if consumed in a high amount of levels. It's going to impact you potentially, depending on how resilient your metabolism and your hormones are. It's going to impact you on a physiological level, meaning it could impact your overall biofeedback, your energy levels. It could make you a little bit more lethargic. It could downgrade the efficiency of your gut health and your digestive tract just a little bit, just because more heavily processed foods, we see it impacts your overall biofeedback and the efficiency of what goes inside of our bodies and our functions of our bodily organs. Everybody with me? I know that's sort of high level stuff. So the best options are always the fresh fruit, fresh everything, fresh meat, fresh seafood, fresh, never frozen. But going back, you guys asked about how we meal prep. Just being transparent. Me and Adrian do this all the time to save time. We are sacrificing the freshness, and we sometimes sacrifice our overall well-being for the sake of saving time. So we buy a lot of the frozen stuff, even though they are healthier options. We buy the frozen fruit, frozen veggies, the Kodiak waffles. We buy the protein bars. We buy protein shakes and canisters. All this stuff is heavily processed. So we know the ramifications of that is our energy levels are probably going to go down. Our gut health is probably going to get worse, so we have to drink more water because of it. So once again, I'm going to reiterate for all my note takers. You have to pick and choose your battles. If you're trying to save time, you're going to sacrifice something. And sometimes that's your energy, that's your gut health, that's things like that. Now, I will, as a health professional, I always say balance things out. As a public disclaimer, so nobody can flag me for this, I will always say pick the fresh options first. And let's face facts. If you want to learn how to prep a meal in under 5 minutes, it's not freaking difficult. Here we go. I'm about to blow everybody's freaking minds here, because one of the biggest mistakes that all the New Year's resolutioners do and all the weight loss gurus do when they're trying to lose weight is one of the first things they do, and I know this because I've worked with thousands of y'all. You guys ask me, or you ask a colleague of mine or someone I know, you say, what's some healthy recipes? That right there is a red fucking flag, and I'm going to tell you why. in 1 second. Looking for healthy recipes, the problem is that can be very time consuming. A lot of the times we look at these meals that involve 7 or 8 different ingredients. It will obviously cost more money. It costs time in the kitchen. You have to spend more time cleaning up. One of the biggest tips for free that I'll give to everybody here is get out of this mindset that you need to prep these amazing HelloFresh meals. That is complete bullshit. I hate HelloFresh for this. I hate Everly. I hate all those other freaking companies because of this. Because they're like, look, we're helping you out to save you time and to save you energy. Here's a box with everything, only to figure out that it takes 60 minutes to 2 hours to freaking prep the damn meal, and then we have to cook everything afterward and clean everything afterwards. Like, that's not efficiency. So a lot of the things that Adrian and I do for our 5-minute meal prep, and we don't prep shit ahead of time. We just buy from a grocery list of efficient food items, ready and hot meals, frozen bags of things that we can store up and stock up. We buy a lot of fresh stuff that we know that we're going to consume in that week, because our typical plates, when you look at them, always consists of 1 protein source per meal, 1 healthy starch source per meal, and then it depends on your goals, but the rest of the meal will be consumed by either fresh vegetables, or you can throw in some nuts, seeds, fruit in there. It just depends on what your goals are. So this is going to be very universal advice that I'm giving everybody. And if you want a more detailed approach, feel free to DM me. Obviously, I've never charged anybody for my consultations. If you guys really want to get into the nitty-gritty of meal prepping, or you guys have nutrition questions, don't hesitate to reach out. Like, I'm not one of these scammers out here, like Jesus. But going back to the portions, I will tell everybody as a universal philosophy to follow. Quarter of your plate is a protein, so we're talking meat, turkey, fish, eggs, whatever, tofu. Then a quarter of the plate is a healthy starch. What are healthy starches? A lot of people get this messed up. But it is not your breads. It's not your pastas. None of that bullshit. Get that out of here. It is your whole grains, as long as you don't suffer from any IBS or food allergies where you're allergic to gluten or anything like that. Once again, this is universal. Most people don't have gluten intolerances. They just think they do. So that portion will be your quinoa, your jasmine rice, brown rice, basmati rice. It will be sweet potatoes, yellow potato, any type of potato is freaking phenomenal for you. Your beans and legumes. And then the rest of the half of the plate, remember, just depends on your goals. Vegetables, fruit, nuts, and seeds. Primarily, it'll probably be you take away the quarter serving of starches and replace it for nuts and seeds if you're on that keto kick, which all females, I don't suggest you on keto. I've already done a broadcast on that, but it is very damaging to your health. Female population, please stop jumping on keto. It is going to mess you up. But Focus Taylor, squirrel brain, here we go. Okay, so I think I'm going to scroll through your comments. What's up, April? What's up, Matt? What's up, Mel? Okay, so I don't think any questions so far, so I'm going to keep rolling with this. So that is one of the biggest tips that I can give to you when it comes to meal prepping in 5 minutes. If you pick the majority of foods from fresh food items or frozen healthy items, like the frozen veggies, the steamable bag of veggies, you're going to be ready to go in just a few minutes. We forget a lot of the time when it comes to the proteins, the more expensive food items, the meat, turkey, seafood, eggs, all that stuff, the majority of the time, except for like fish or something like that, can really be prepped in just 5 minutes. I know because I do it on the regular. Now, granted, it involves grilling or having an air fryer. One of the things that has helped Adrian and I save so much time is investing in an air fryer. And please do not get a cheap one from Walmart. Like, there are air fryers out there that are a couple $100s. Yes, it is an investment. I use that word specifically, but it saves us so much damn time. When it took us normally like 20 minutes to bake or heat up a frozen bag of chicken nuggets for our daughter, in our air fryer that we have, it literally takes like 5 damn minutes. Like, I don't know what they put in air fryers, but those damn things are gifts from God. So buy one. I promise you, it'll save you time. So a lot of the times, my personal meals, just to share with you what I do, is I will pick out protein items that I can easily pop in the skillet or the air fryer in just 5 to 8 minutes. So you're looking at your grass-fed beef. I can throw that in a skillet, put that on sucker on high, throw some seasoning on there. Boom! I guarantee you, boo boo, it's done in a couple of minutes. It does not take a long time unless you're just on like low heat or something like that. So I do that a lot of the times with my meat, my turkey, same exact thing. Obviously, eggs only takes a couple of minutes in the skillet. Now, I am not a tofu person. That's a question for Miss Megan when she watches this. So I'll let her handle that. Tofu and fish, that's going to take a while to prep unless you're on a grill or something. But, once again, pick and choose your battles, right? So if time is the biggest factor for you, now moving on from the protein, the hardest part will be the starches, because the starches takes time. I'm not even going to bullshit with y'all. Unless you get the ready to microwave items, such as what is it called, the Uncle Bob's, I think it's Uncle Bob's like microwavable rice. We do that where you can take little to-go packets of brown rice, literally put them in the microwave for 60 seconds and they're ready to go. Like, once again, you will speak with nutritionists and they'll be like, oh, avoid the microwave because it kills nutrients. All right, fine, fair. Every time you pop a frozen bag of vegetables or healthy starches, a bag of microwavable potatoes or whatever, yes, technically you're killing off nutrients. But here's the thing. Once again, what did I say at the beginning of this broadcast? You have to pick and choose your battles. What's important to you? Now, if you know that this is a lifestyle that you have to live because you are not willing to sacrifice your health just because you are a busy adult, then here we go. You can get into a high-quality multivitamin to supplement those vitamins and nutrients. That's not a bad option. So remember, like a good high-quality, probably like a $30 to $40 multivitamin that you're not going to get at Walmart, by the way. You're not going to get at CVS, by the way. Like, that is going to provide you the biggest bang for your buck. Multivitamins are what I call my insurance policy. Because even as much of a health fanatic as I am, I still don't get in the recommended daily allowance of different diverse food groups. So my multivitamin assures me that I'm going to get all the vitamins and minerals that my body needs in a day. Cool? Cool. All right, so I wrote down some talking points of questions that you guys had regarding meal prepping. So if there is, before I move on to this, is there any questions that you guys have regarding meal prepping? I think I've covered the gist of it. Like, if you know, the majority of your time saving will come from if your diet consists of a lot of fresh vegetables from the outside food aisles, fruits that you can eat on the go for healthy snacks, packaged food items like your beef jerky, Greek yogurt, protein bars, protein shakes, your microwavable rice and potatoes. You have deli meat that you can make very, very quickly. Just heat it up, whatever, or have it cold as a sandwich. You have Kodiak protein waffles, protein pancakes. You have the protein energy balls from Kodiak and all these different healthy places like Debbie's Health Food Store and stuff like that. You have the skillet-made items such as grass-fed beef, turkey, eggs, anything that you can cook up with it just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes. All these things can really help save you a lot of time and efficiency. So that's the bulk of what I want to share with you. Now, if you guys have any questions on that, drop them in the comments. I'm going to move on to our Q&A section. All right, so one of the first questions I had from Tabitha, and I think I answered it, was, just regarding meal portions. Now, she knew, and in case you guys don't know, nobody, unless they really know you inside and out, and I mean this as like you're working with a nutritionist or a licensed expert, someone that knows your diet, your lifestyle regimen, exercise regimen, things like that. You should never, ever, ever get exact nutrition figures from somebody. Legally, in the state of Florida, now I don't know where this is being broadcast all over the world, but the majority of the people in this group, the majority of the relationships that I build out in the community, you're obviously from my local area in Central Florida. In the state of Florida and all the local southern states, Georgia, Bama, Louisiana, the Carolinas, it is heavily illegal. Unless you're a certified nutrition coach or licensed RD nutritionist, you cannot give out macronutrient or micronutrient numbers. You cannot tell people that you have to eat 4 ounces of beef, 5 ounces of beef, 20 grams of rice, whatever like that. So just for your own safety, if anybody comes to you telling you that, you need to fucking run the other direction because that's highly illegal. But going back into meal portions, she knew. Ultimately, Tabitha's questions, let me back up. Tabitha's question was just regarding meal portions. And I think I answered that. For the general public, your meal portions need to be quarter protein, quarter healthy starch. The other half of the plate needs to be fresh vegetables. 95% of the population, if they followed that regimen, you're going to lose weight, you're going to gain energy, you're going to feel a lot better. I promise. And I follow that protocol with all my clients, the majority of my clients, unless they're suffering from some sort of serious metabolic condition that we have to alter things on. The vast majority of the population follows that regimen. So that's a good starting point for you to start at. Unless, disclaimer once again, you're suffering from a metabolic condition, a thyroid issue, whatever it may be, insulin resistance, whatever it may be, diabetes, I don't know. Then you really need to be working with a nutrition coach such as myself, a licensed RD, or a nutritionist. So, hope that answers your question, Tabitha. Moving on. We had a question. Let me just pull up the questions live for y'all. Because somebody had a question about, like, becoming more efficient. Oh, it was becoming more efficient with MyFitnessPal. Okay, so I just want to make sure I answer it properly without just assuming something. Bear with me, guys. Okay. Okay, so Tabitha had a two-part question. She asked about how to make tracking more efficient. Okay, and Lucinda had the same question about how to make tracking more efficient because it's so time-consuming. Okay, so a lot of helpful tips. Now, this goes into, I personally only use MyFitnessPal. I've used MyFitnessPal for freaking like 20 years, dude. Like, if I've had clients that use this like Samsung Health app and they absolutely swear by it and they love it, I cannot help you with that. So if you guys are using MyFitnessPal, these tips will help you out. But if you're using Samsung Health, if you're using any of these third-party apps, Chronometer, something like that, I really don't know those apps, so I'm sorry, but I can't help you. To really become more efficient with MyFitnessPal, at least, there is, well, and here, let me start here. Spend time with the app. Learn the features of it. Because literally, it has so many tips at your disposal that it'll walk you through with tutorial videos or whatever, or, you know, you can just figure it out on your own. Whenever you plug in different food items, there's these 3 dots next to like the breakfast, lunch, dinner. And if you click on those, like one of the favorite things that I like to do to save me time, because for all those people, guilty as charged, I am perfectly okay eating the same foods every single day. I don't get bored. I come from that, you know, my family was a military background. Everything was written out, programmed for the week. I am a very routine person. So I'm not really on the fly. I like to plan as much as possible. So for my planners out there, this will probably work best for you. But I am okay with eating the same things. So if you're okay with eating the same things, one of the things that I like to do at the start of every single week is when you open up your MyFitnessPal, let me see if I can open it up here. You have your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You're going to see these 3 dots next to breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever. After you plug in your food, so if you have eggs, toast, bacon every single morning like I do, once you plug that into your breakfast, you click those three dots next to it, and it will allow you the option of saying, like, I forget the verbiage. Let me look at it. Add to your favorites or copy for a quick ad. You can literally label this food inside of your breakfast bar and say Taz's favorite breakfast or Taz's protein packed breakfast. And I will know because I named it, oh, that's the eggs, bacon, toast that I have every single morning. And then when you go the next day, you can either do a quick ad, and all you do is literally, there's the three dots next to breakfast. If it's empty, do quick ad, and it will give you a breakdown list of saying Taz's favorite breakfast or whatever. Or it'll say copy breakfast from such and such date. That has helped me so much. And what I'll do, technically on like a Sunday or Monday, is I'll go through all the days of the week if I know for a fact I'm going to eat those meals, and I'll just work 3-4 days ahead, and I'll track all those suckers in the week so I don't have to do it later on in the week. Because I'm a boring person. Like, sorry, y'all. I'm very boring. I can eat the same shit. Now, for y'all that are on the fly, that eat different shit every day, then you are really going to benefit from just doing the quick ads, saving some of your favorite meals. Like me and the wife go to Chick-fil-A a lot. I pick literally the same meal at Chick-fil-A every single time we go. And so when I click on that lunch menu, I can click on lunch, add food, click the three dots, the little drop-down menu, and it'll say Chick-fil-A. And because there's only like one thing I eat at Chick-fil-A, click on that, boom, it automatically preloads it into the lunch menu. So that's how you save. Learning the tips and the features of MyFitnessPal is really going to save you a lot of time. That quick ad and adding your favorite meals, boo-boo, it's going to help you so damn much. So just spend some time in the app, literally 5 minutes. It doesn't take long. Like the amount of time that you spend on TikTok, boo-boo, you could be freaking learning a damn tutorial video. So, and then one of the other things I wrote down that I wanted to share with y'all is MyFitnessPal will notice a pattern of your eating regimen. So if you're like me, if you eat the same things every single day, a lot of the times MyFitnessPal will, when I go to upload my breakfast, it'll be like, is this the same breakfast from Monday or Tuesday? And I'll be like, oh, well, yes it is. Click, and it'll automatically add it for me. So I don't have to sit there and go, 3 large eggs. Click, search for 3 Kodiak waffles. Click, 2 slices of uncured Publix turkey bacon. Click. Like, yeah, that becomes time consuming. But I want to say this so everybody understands this, and this is very, very important. So hear me out. In the beginning of your tracking journey, if you're new to MyFitnessPal, if you're new to dieting, there's a lot of shit being thrown your way that's brand new to you that you're going to have to learn and educate yourself on. And sometimes that just takes time. So give yourself grace. Like, one of the biggest frustrating things that I work with my own clients and talking to some of you guys every single week is I hear this common thing that like, tracking is too time consuming, or weighing and measuring my food is too time consuming. Well, yeah, in the beginning, because you're learning that scale, you're learning MyFitnessPal, you're learning how to plug in your numbers, you're learning how to scan the damn food items or whatever, like inputting that in your phone. But after a week, after 2 weeks, after 3 weeks, after 6 months, whatever, like I said, MyFitnessPal is going to know your routine, and it's going to start to auto put in the breakfast, lunch, snack, dinner items that you're used to eating. So, yeah, in the beginning it's going to be overwhelming, but give yourself time. Just work through it. So, and did I want to go here? Like, you guys know how blunt I am. Do I really want to go here? Like, talking about the whole time thing. When people say, and, you know, we had questions in it, people saying tracking is too time consuming, weighing and measuring my food is too time consuming. One, I will say you should probably only be doing those things in particular seasons of your life. More specifically when you're dieting. Because when you're dieting, you really have to know the numbers. You really have to know the calories in versus calories out ratio if you really want to burn fat. So that is probably the season when you really want to track things. You don't have to track or weigh and measure your food every single day of your life. That's very unrealistic, and it's kind of pointless. Like right now in my life, I'm in a maintaining mode where I'm recovering from my rib injury, and my focus is not on dieting. So I don't track my food. From the years of doing it, I know of how much food I need to consume every single day per meal to hit my calorie maintenance level. So, but that just comes with time. You have to give yourself time. Time. Anything of significant value takes time. And so many people want the results now. They want the win and the achievement now. They're not willing to wait. Like, give yourself time. Like, it takes time to get results. It takes time to get toned up. It takes time to lose the dad bod, mom pooch, whatever you want to call it. It takes time. So, I really wanted to share that with you guys. And I want to share with you just to get this internal dialogue, this narrative out of your head that things are too time consuming. A lot of the times, I'll be fully blunt with y'all, and I want to say this with all the grace in the world to try to be kind and gentle for the guys of you that are listening, is things are not time consuming. Tracking is not time consuming. Like literally, I'm going to put it right now. Somebody set a fucking timer. We're at 35:54 of me timing this. I'm at my breakfast. Eggs. I had eggs for breakfast. 3 large eggs. Okay. Change the quantity to 3. Boom. What I have is my healthy starch. I had potatoes. I had breakfast potatoes. Alright, so russet potatoes. There we go. I probably had 1 potato worth. Now, obviously, if you're weighing and tracking, it's going to take extra time. But since I'm in maintenance mode, boom. You don't have to track coffee because if you're drinking black coffee, that's 0. But do count the coffee creamer. So I had the Chobani vanilla coffee creamer. Here we go. 1 tablespoon, yes. Done. Boom. What else did I have for breakfast? Bell peppers. Here we go. Green bell pepper, 100 grams. I probably had like half a serving of that. Boom. What else did I have? Did I have anything else for breakfast? Fuck it. I'll throw in the protein shake that I had for a snack later on. Protein shake from First Form. Milk chocolate, 1 serving. Boom. 500 calories. I've been doing this for about 30 seconds to a fucking minute. What time did I say? Did I say 35 or 36? I don't know. You saw how quick I did that. That was fucking breakfast. Like, literally, let's just say, for argument's sake, it takes 1 minute per meal to plug in. You times that by 3 meals a day, throw in some extra snacks. It literally takes you 3 minutes, if that, to track your food. Tracking is not time consuming. Stop it. That is an internal dialogue that is happening. You are lying to yourself just because it's an activity that you don't want to fucking do. Point period, the end. Exercise is too time consuming. No, bitch, you just don't want to fucking do it. You can drop down right now while you listen to me do this damn broadcast, start do some squats. Start do some crunches. You can jog in place, but I bet you won't. Because you don't want to do it. Stop making fucking excuses for shit that you don't want to do. I don't care if I hurt anybody's feelings on that. We have this internal dialogue that's going on, and unless we build up the awareness to say, is this a fact or is this a feeling? Is it really time consuming to track my calories? Let me time myself. Oh shit, it took me 60 seconds to track breakfast? Well, fuck me. I guess I've been lying to myself. It's not time consuming. The whole thing about weighing and measuring your food. Here's the scale. Let's pretend this is a scale. Here's my plate. I just dropped my plate on the scale. Oh shit, here's my food. Let me look. Oh, that was 4 ounces. Cool, let's take that off. Where's my starch and vegetables? Okay, let me weigh and measure that. Oh, fuck, that's 100 grams. Cool, we're done here. Oh, let me take my wallet. Let's pretend that's your fucking vegetables. That's 100 grams too. Cool. Boom. Hit my goals. How long did it take me to weigh and measure my food? Stop the stupid shit. It pisses me off. You're being fucking lazy. Stop it. Do the work or stop fucking complaining. I'm sorry, but I'm freaking triggered right now. At what point are we going to take control of our health and do the shit that is boring and the shit that we don't want to freaking do so we can have more energy to play with our kids, so we can feel more confident in the bedroom for our spouse? Like, I talk to people every single fucking week and it drives me nuts. I talk to people and they're like, I don't feel confident having sex with my husband because I feel like I'm disgusting. I don't feel confident looking myself in the mirror when I get out of the shower because I think I look fucking gross. I'm tired of having these body aches and pains and feeling lethargic to the point where I have to drink 3 energy drinks a day just to function. So my question to you is, okay, what are you doing about it? And often the answer is, nothing, I'm too busy. But yet you're hitting the fucking snooze alarm. But yet you're sitting there scrolling TikTok. I'm following a lot of you, by the way. I know you bitches are on TikTok. Quit the bullshit. But you can tell me every cool thing that happened on Tiger King or whatever fucking trending show is happening right now. Cut the shit. Stop lying. You don't want to be healthy because you don't want to put in the fucking work. Stop fucking lying. Put it ever on everybody watching this video. Please film capture me right now. Blast me on Snapchat because it's bullshit. Write it on a freaking piece of paper. Get a notepad. Write it on a piece of paper. Stick that bitch on your forehead. Post it on the fucking wall. Say, stop lying. Stop making excuses. Do the work or shut the hell up. Do the work or just be happy being lethargic and unsexy for your husband. I don't know what to freaking tell you. But obviously playing the nice guy ain't fucking working, so eventually I'm going to have to bring out my military background for y'all. Like, shit. Moving on. Where the hell are my notes? Moving on. What else questions do we got? Fuck. Like, ugh. Time consuming. Okay, April. Healthy recipes. Here we go. Now, I caught you because in the beginning, you remember what I said. Don't worry about the healthy recipes. But if you have time, if you have the time to cook the recipes, message me. I'll send you my recipe guide. For anybody watching this, I have a whole recipe guide with like 50 different recipes of foods that you can prep. Obviously, they take time, but they're exquisite, by the way. So just slide in my DMs, ask for the meal guide, and I'll email it out to you. Hopefully, if I don't screw it up. FYI, I'm not a tech person. April had to save my ass this week. So, okay, other question. I think I had one more, and then we are well over time, so I've got to go. Tutorial videos, I will be sending out tutorial videos later on. I've told myself I've committed to that time. I will do it. Just gotta do it. Okay, so let me scroll through these comments real quick. April, no, I probably should have clarified. I'm not a veteran. I come from a family lineage of 3 different generations of Rodriguez's that were all in the military. So I'm sort of like the black sheep of the family, where I was like the first generation male that was like, nah, I don't want to go into the military. I actually chose the art and design thing, so I did a complete 180 for our family. So I just have those veteran tendencies because I grew up around them. So I gained all the characteristics, but I never went over there. So respect to the ones that decided to go over there. Anytime we only make it time consuming when we don't manage our time well. Bingo. Karen hit the nail on the head. We only make things time consuming when we don't manage our time well. Speaking from experience, I love it. This is why I'm a huge advocate of getting a calendar and time blocking and learning how to do that. I love Greek yogurt. I can eat that. Yup, Matt, Greek yogurt is phenomenal. What's the other one? Like cream cheeses and what is it? Like all those are like packed with protein. Uncle Ben's. Okay, so it wasn't Uncle Bob's. It was Uncle Ben's. Thank you, Matt, for the correction. My bad. Oh man, so sorry. And I am a Spider-Man nerd. I should have I should have memorized that. Oh well. Why are you cooking meat on high? Because it cooks quick. So that's why. An air fryer is freaking amazing. Yeah, I have massive squirrel brain. I'm sorry, guys. Cool. So I think that's all the questions. Obviously, if you guys have more, feel free. Yeah, cottage cheese. Thank you. So cottage cheese is a phenomenal snack that's packed with protein. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll be sure to scroll them tonight. I do have to go. But before I go, I want to announce our nutrition coaching giveaway winner. There was one winner above all the others that we promised 30 days of free nutrition coaching for. They get the full package, our fitness app, one-on-one coaching calls with me, plugged into our accountability group, things like that. And that is Miss April Grossman. So, April, congratulations, hun. Message me so we can get the onboarding process done. The sooner the better, because 30 days is not a long time. So we have to hit the ground running this weekend. So message me. I'm going to send you onboarding documents so we can start you this weekend. Okay, so that's on you, April. So congratulations, everybody. Clap it up in the comments for April. Congratulations, hon. Thank you for taking action. Now, FYI, I did promise that I was going to give some nutrition coaching giveaways to some other people. There were some applications that we got that were not fully completed. So I am a man of my word. I want to offer the nutrition coaching for you guys, but those applications have to be fully submitted. A lot of them were only halfway submitted, so I cannot accept those. So if you guys still want the 30-day nutrition coaching offer, no gimmicks, whatever, message me. I'll send you the link to the application. A lot of that has to do with my end because I sent out a bad link this week. So, sorry. I will send that out again. Just message me if you're interested in that one-on-one coaching opportunity, and we'll get you set up with it for the next month. So, love you guys. Thank you for tuning in this evening. Have a phenomenal week. I've got to go spend some family time. Love y'all. Peace out.